Not only is our next performer been a star on Shortland Street, not only was he a recipient of the 1999 Billy T Awards, but he also helps business maximise diversity in the workplace. He's living proof that diversity works. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for the one, the only, Mr. Philip Patston. Give it up, Philip Patston.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, fancy seeing you here. Now, I can see written on the face, you're wondering, sir, why am I in this wheelchair? Yes, well, it's that I drink too much coffee. I'm fine when I wake up in the morning, fine. Then I have 10 long blacks, hopeless. Got here tonight, I was even more hopeless than usual because I had 15 long blacks. So luckily this wheelchair was down the back and they chucked me in here and here I am. Great, easy, isn't it? Yeah. So I've been thinking, you know, how you kind of think every now and then, what's my destiny? You know, and I've been wondering that. And so I went to see a past life regression therapist, and she took me back, and then I lost my balance and hit my head on the floor. Bugger. And she took me back to a time when my soul was wandering around the universe looking for a new life, and he just came upon God's front door. And my soul knocked on God's front door, and God came to the door and opened it, and my soul said, God! And God said, don't call me God, call me Godfrey. And I can understand that, because people call me Phil all the time, and it really annoys me. So my soul said, sorry, God, and walked into his lounge, and God, who was dressed in leather and chains, by the way, sat down and said, so what are you here? And my soul said, God, I'm looking for life. I want to know my destiny. And then my soul just happened to notice on the coffee table in God's lounge, there was a big line of Coke. And it went on and on and on for eternity, as you might expect in the universe. And so God said, well, I'll tell you, but I'll just have one last snort. And he took a big long snort, and it sounded something like this. But it went on and on for eternity, of course. And God looked at my soul and he said, your destiny is to be a 5-minute wonder on Shortland Street. So I did. So I was. So you watch Shortland Street? Yeah, sad, eh? I bet all the rest of you are lying. See, it was weird, because when I first talked to them at Shortland Street, I said I want to be a brain surgeon on Shortland Street. And they looked at me and said, no, it'll be too unrealistic. And I said, but it's Shortland Street. So I ended up being Waverley's boyfriend, Josh, you see, and that was even stranger because a couple of months earlier I'd been named Queer of the Year. So within the space of 2 months, I'd gone from being a gay icon to the boyfriend of the only woman on New Zealand TV that doesn't know what vacuous means. You don't either, do you? God, I'll tell you after. but I realised when I kissed Waverley that being a lesbian is not so bad. Dear me. So now that I've been on Shortland Street, I have 14-year-old girls rush up to me in the street and they say, "Oh, you've been on Shortland Street." And one of them said, "Could you tell me, I've been wondering, what do you actors do during the commercial break?" And I just reflected briefly on the quality of our education system. And I said, "Well, look, I'll tell you a big secret about New Zealand television." I said, what we did during the ad breaks was we all jumped up and sat at the back on your volume knob. And she believed me. And I reflected once again, just briefly, on the quality of our education system. But I was a bit nervous, you see, about playing a straight bloke, because I thought, well, what do I know about being a straight bloke? So I asked some women I knew, I said, "How do I be straight? What do I do?" And they said, "Well, just talk about rugby." And I thought, well, that's quite easy. No wonder there's so many straight men in the world. I said, it's got to be harder. There's got to be more than that. And they said, well, you could throw in a bit of horse racing, don't talk in too long a sentence, and lie about everything else. So I thought, well... So I went up to the first straight-looking bloke I could see. Looked a bit like you, actually. Yep. And I said, "I like rugby." And he believed me. And he got a bit excited. So I said, "I like Christian Cullen." And he muttered something about a racehorse. But he got even more excited, and by that time, I was getting a bit excited myself. So I think Christian Cullen, he's a bit of all right then, isn't he? And he kind of looked at me blankly and he said, "Can you talk in shorter sentences, please?" Thank you very much. You've been great on perfect.
Philip Patston, folks, give a big round of applause, Mr. Philip Patston. That's our show. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. We'll see you again on Pulp Comedy. Good night.